Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hauser with another exciting geometry video. We're going to be talking about the area of composite figures. And what are composite shapes and figures? They are just made up of other simple shapes such as triangles, rectangles, trapezoids, and circles. Really, any two-dimensional shape, you put them together, you make a composite shape. Composite means made up of. So it's a larger, weirder polygon maybe that is made up of a bunch of different shapes. But before we get into this, here is your joke of the day. Why was the mathematician late for school? Because he took the wrong bus. Alright, so let's get into it. So our first example, we have this shape here, and it looks like it's made up of three shapes, and so we're going to come up with a strategy first. So right here I see a semicircle. Okay, with a diameter of 20 millimeters. So I'm going to need to find the area of the semicircle. So a couple things you might want to realize here and remember is that the area formula for a circle is pi r squared. But we are looking for half of a circle here, area of half of a circle. So we'll just take that and divide it by 2. We also want to make a note here that the radius of this circle is 10 millimeters because the diameter is 20. Diameter goes all the way across. So the radius is going to be 10 millimeters. I also want to find the area of the other figures here. And it looks like I have a rectangle and a triangle. But why not just make this easier on ourselves and consider this a trapezoid? Because it is a trapezoid. We have 2 parallel bases, and we have a height. We can find the area of that trapezoid. Area of the trapezoid. And we know that formula is 1/2 the height times our bases added together. All right, so let's start with a circle. We have a radius of 10, so pi times 10 squared, all divided by 2. 10 squared is 100, so 100 times 3.14 is 314 divided by 2 equals 157. And our trapezoid, 1/2 the height, which is 14, times our 2 bases added together. That's 20 plus 32. Using our order of operations, do what's in parentheses first. 1/2 times 14 times 20 plus 32 is 52. And we'll just multiply all that together. 0.5 times 14 times 52. Gives us an area of 364 millimeters squared. So because it's a composite shape, we'll add up our 2 areas, the area of the semicircle and the area of the trapezoid. And we get a total composite area of 521 millimeters squared. Okay, and if you have any questions on this that you want me to address in class, make sure you're writing those questions over here on the side in this left-hand column. Write any questions or confusions you have in that column, and I'll be happy to address those. All right, so let's move on to example 2. So there really is no wrong way to do these examples. However you want to slice the shape is up to you. Here I have this shape that I did not cut for you, but we want to cut it into as few shapes as possible to make the work easier for us. Okay, whenever you can do less work, do less work. So what I see here is I see a rectangle on the right and a trapezoid on the left. Okay, if you can divide your shape like that, try to do that so you don't have to do like a rectangle, another rectangle, and a triangle. It's just more work for yourself. Okay, so we want to find the area of the rectangle, which we know is base times height. That's this right here. And we want to find the area of the trapezoid. Area of the trapezoid. Which again, that area formula is 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2, or the quantity of base 1 plus base 2. So let's begin. Area of a rectangle we know is base times height, and just take a look. Just cover up that trapezoid and look at that blue rectangle I shaded there. 5 inches by 10 inches. 5 times 10 equals 50. So the area of that rectangle is 50 square inches. Now let's look at the trapezoid. 1/2 the height. Well, let's think about the height here. We have to use some indirect reasoning here. Let's think for a second. The total height of this figure from down here all the way up here, okay, from down here all the way up here, is 10 inches. Well, I know that this part right here is, actually, I will do that in a different color, do that in green. This part right here is 6, which means this is 6. And if this entire height is 10, 10 minus 6 is 4. So this part right here is 4. Okay, so the height of that trapezoid is 4. And our two bases are 7 and 15. So we'll go ahead and work that out. 7 plus 15 is 22. So 1/2 times 4 times 22 gives us 44 square inches. So we'll go ahead and add those two together. 50 and 44, giving us 94 inches squared. Again, if you have any questions on what I just did there, feel free to write them down and we can address those in class. I want you to do example 3 on your own, and we'll go over this one as a class. But there are several different strategies that you could use. Just to give you some examples, you could slice this into 3 rectangles, or a square and 2 rectangles, I should say. You could even slice this, if you really wanted to be ambitious, you could slice this into a couple of trapezoids in a rectangle. Either way, pick a strategy that you think would work for this figure, and I want you to come up with the area of this composite figure. I will say that you are looking for an area of 208 meters squared. So if you didn't get 208 meters squared, you might have done something incorrectly. So check your work for each step. But either way, you should have work shown for several different shapes here. We'll go over this one as a class once you are done trying it on your own.